Hello everyone. Very good evening, guys. Very good evening and welcome to Gradeup. My name is Abhishek Singh and I welcome you all in this great series that we have started for you, To the Point. So, guys, in this series, we will be discussing a topic for you that will be absolutely to the point, and in Hindi also we can say that saral, satik, or spasht. That means we will be trying to bring detail about the topic, but in a very concise and very to the point manner. So, very good evening to all of you. Good evening, Nandini. Good evening, Mayank. Good evening, all of you guys. So quickly join the session and make sure that those who are watching it on the YouTube share this session with all of your friends also, so that they can also watch it and they can learn the good things from it. And dear students, those who are watching it on the application, welcome to all the students. So moving further in this class, first of all, let me tell you something about myself. So guys, my name is Abhishek Singh. Those who are already attending my sessions, they would be aware. So currently I teach Indian history, but I have also taught polity and constitution since last 3.5 years. And these are my credentials. I have appeared in the UPSC interview in 2013 and mains in 2014 and 2018. Also, there is a humble reminder for all my viewers, all my UPSC aspirants, those who are the students here. Guys, just 78 days are left for the examination. Every day this count is reducing. Even today, I think it's hardly 4-5 hours for the working day, practical working day. So that means you are practically left with almost 75-76 days, right? Because that is what the time says. Make sure that you utilize your time in the most effective manner and focus on such topics like I have brought the one for today, right? Such topics which give you the wider coverage and they make most out of the available info and also increase the chances to crack the prelims examination in a very pointed approach. All right. So guys, if you are having the determination, अगर आपके पास जिद है, सो अच्छे स्कोर की जिद अगर आप लेकर के बैठे हुए हैं, सो गाइज मेक श्योर दैट यू आर नॉट अलोन. आप अकेले नहीं है. ग्रेडअप इज विथ यू. वी आर प्रोवाइडिंग यू फ्लैट 45% ऑफ ऑन द ग्रेडअप सुपर. जस्ट यूज द code mantra 45 and join us on the Gradeup Super. So guys, let us start the topic of the day without further delay. Good evening Priyanshu, good evening to all of you guys. फटाफट से जो ऑनलाइन आ चुके हैं, those who are online, make sure guys that just show your presence, write down something in the comment box so that I can see that how many of you are able to see the lecture. All right, okay, so let us start with the topic, that is India's coastal security, its challenges and preparedness. That means इंडिया के समुद्री तटरक्षा में क्या क्या चुनौतियां हैं और हम उसके लिए कितना तैयार हैं, right? So guys, what do we mean by coastal security? What is understood? What is coastal security exactly? Coastal security is simply a part of the maritime security. Maritime security. Now, what is the maritime security? That means the security in the marine zone, in the oceanic region, that is called as the maritime security, right? And it is applicable to those vessels also, to those ships also, which are Indian ships and which are moving in the other parts of the world in the different oceans, either for trade purpose or for any other purpose. So that is a wider term. Maritime security is a wider term. Coastal security is a substantially smaller term that is a subset of the maritime security and involves the security of the coastal water zone against any threat or challenge that originates from the sea, right? That originates from the sea. So guys, this can be directly a statement based question in your prelims examination. So listen to this definition and the difference between maritime and the coastal security very carefully. Then, what is coastal water zone? There is another term for you, the coastal water zone. What is that? Guys, coastal water zone refers to the water area, right? Water area seawards of the Indian coast up to the limit of India's contiguous zone or the international maritime boundary line. So we all must be aware that India's territorial waters extend up to the 12 nautical miles. Remember everybody, this is the basic thing that we study in our geography class in the young school days. So up to the 12 nautical miles, right? However, if we talk about the coastal water zone, that means it extends much beyond that, much beyond than that. Okay, either it goes to the India's contiguous zone, right, that is up to the 200 nautical miles, or to the international maritime boundary line. So like we have the territorial boundaries, similarly we have the international maritime boundary line. Whichever is less, that will be our coastal water zone. Clear everyone? So this is a very clear-cut approach to make you absolutely clear about all the technical terms involved in this particular phase. And don't expect that UPSC will ask you the peanuts, like UPSC will check your knowledge. So guys, be attentive here. Then talking about the coastal security. So guys, this coastal security has a wide connotation and it includes various components like maritime border management. What is that? As I told you that maritime boundary line is there. Similarly, if the territorial borders are managed, these are also managed. Managed means protected. Island security. India is a country that is having the multiple islands, so their security is also included into the coastal security. Maintenance of the peace, stability and good order in the coastal areas and enforcement of the laws therein. That means maintenance of the law and order in the coastal areas. Right, we will see in the upcoming parts of this lecture that why are the coastal areas considered so specific, right? So you can say vulnerable to the security disorders. We will see that also. Security of the seaports, that is a part of coastal security. Coastal installations and other structures, including the vital areas and vital points. Vessels as well as personals operating in the coastal areas. Vessels means what? The ships, etc. Personals means what? The officers and the employees on the ships. Okay, so the sailors, officers, employees, whosoever, if that is an Indian personnel, if that is present in the vessel, security of that is also the part of our coastal security. What are the vital areas and the vital points, guys? These areas or these points from where there are more chances of the security disorders, or where there are the installations and other structures, like for example in Odisha we have the Wheeler Island, that is called as the Abdul Kalam Dweep, right? APJ Abdul Kalam Dweep. Or similarly we have in the Lakshadweep the Minicoy Islands, right? So there are various such islands which are having the vital areas or the installations that becomes very crucial for our coastal security. So to defend all these things is called coastal security. Okay. And how do we provide the coastal security? Guys, the coastal security is given through the coordinated efforts amongst the multiple stakeholders at the center as well as in the state. Apart from the conventional protection forces such as the Coast Guard or Indian Navy, nowadays the government is also emphasizing upon educating and making aware the people living in the coastal areas. Especially we will try to see that which are the major changes brought into our coastal security systems. after the Mumbai attacks 2008. Okay, guys. So here it is a basic area, basic dimensioning of the coastal security scheme. So marine police that will take care up to the 12 nautical miles from the shore. That means in the territorial waters, the marine police will be there. From 12 to 200 nautical miles, that is up to the India's right coagulated area, that will be covered by the Indian Coast Guard. Okay, and beyond that, we all know that beyond 200 nautical miles, we enter into the international waters. So if something happens there, which is a threat to the Indian security, then Indian Navy will take care of that. For example, suppose one of our ships is attacked by, suppose it is attacked by the right, you can say the pirates, etc., or some other irregular bodies, or some terrorist attack is there. So then Indian Navy will be acting if it is beyond 200 nautical miles. If it is within that, then Indian Coast Guard will be. So what did we learn? That these three are the major security forces of the India's coast. Okay. Moving further, and in our to the point scheme, the next thing at why is coastal security considered indispensable for India? भारत के लिए समुद्री तटों की सुरक्षा अपरिहार्य क्यों है? Good afternoon, Simran. Good afternoon, Kaushik. Right. MD, the range of the IMBL that I told to you, right? That is 200 nautical miles, or the India's coagular zone, right? Whichever is less into that. Got it? Now moving further. So why is coastal security considered indispensable? Because of the following reasons. Guys, these reasons can be like arranged in any way, but therefore I have not marked any direction into it. So these 5 reasons I have enlisted for you. You can also add some more reasons if you want, but due to the paucity of time, I have just added 5 big reasons. First of all, national security. Guys, it is not a matter of any detail. Everybody understands that coastal security is a part of the wider design of our national security. Earlier, we used to think that the threat is only from the territorial areas, especially the cross-border terrorism and all that. But the 26/11 that happened with us in 2008, that actually changed the whole perception. For the first time, we saw that the terrorists, they reached on Indian area through the coastal route, and that's why it is the part of the wider national security system. Not only that, we are also seeing an increase in the number of the immigrants coming from the coastal route from the Bangladesh and as well as from the Arakan areas of Myanmar. That means our security threats are increased because we have not paid the enough attention in past on our coastal security, which is nonetheless the part of our national security. Okay. Next reason, that is protection of the assets. Guys, assets can be defined in any ways. Like for example, I just gave you the example of the launching centers, right, at Sriharikota, or the launching and missile testing ranges in the Wheeler Island, or the Maritime Command located in the Port Blair. All these areas, these are very crucial assets of our nation, right? So that means not only that, if we see the forest resources, or we see the monazite sand of Kerala, whatever is there, everything which is useful for our country, that is an asset for us. And to protect the assets of our nation, we definitely need to protect our coasts. So that is why coastal security is indispensable. Economic significance is always there. So guys, we all know that economic significance, that means what? That means the trade routes and the trade, you can say protection to the trading vessels, right? Fish production, right? For example, we can see that overall 35% of the fish production that came from the maritime sector, right? Maritime sector. And you know what? The marine products exports from India in 2018-19 session, that was 46,590 crores. Guys, you can imagine the amount of the money that we are whistling up in the oceanic sector through the economic development. So that means nowadays the oceanic routes are not just for the sake of the typical security, but also they have the right exclusive economic zones. We have the exclusive economic zones in our coastal areas as well, and therefore it is very essential to safeguard it. If you are having any doubt, just keep in your mind the KG basin, Krishna Godavari basin, guys, one of the largest areas for India for the production of the natural gas. Do you think that can we take a risk on this? We can never. So that's why coastal area protection is indispensable. Apart from that, geostrategic interests, these are very essential. What is meant by geostrategic interest? Guys, we all know that China is following a policy of the string of the pearls, right? String of the pearls, through which it is trying to encircle us, trying to surround us with the numerous base stations in the areas around the Indian coast. And since we are surrounded by water from three sides in our plateau zone, right? So it's quite convenient for China to encircle us from the different sides. However, if we want to ensure that our geostrategic interests are not compromised, then at the same time we also need to push up our coastal security system, especially in the areas such as Andaman and Nicobar, such as in Lakshadweep, such as in the Indo-Bangla border, right, or Indo-Pakistan border, in that area. Not only that, we also need to increase our hold over the Indian Ocean region, especially the tiny island nations like Maldives, etc. Therefore, they become very crucial for India. All right. Apart from that, climate induced issues are also there. So guys, nowadays, I think all of us must be aware that deep sea dumping, right? Deep sea dumping, even though it is a very old method of the waste dumping, however, we have observed in the past that many developed nations, they adopt this particular method and they bury their wastes near the coastal areas of the poor countries, right? Not only that, due to the incessant economic activities in the coastal areas, what happened? The climatic scenario of the coastal regions, and there also changes, which creates a lot of troubles for India, also which creates the loss of the economic benefit. That is why all these regions are equally indispensable for India, and therefore we need our coastal security system. Okay guys, now moving further and looking at the point, right? Swati, good afternoon. See, in Hindi it's a little bit difficult, right? Because this class is supposed to be in English, right? And I hope that I'm using very simple English so that you can understand it in a well manner, right? Okay guys, so moving further, why Indian coasts remain vulnerable to seaborne threats? भारत के समुद्री तट जो हैं वो समुद्र जनित या सागर जनित खतरों से हमेशा ही क्यों आशंकित रहते हैं? क्यों उनके ऊपर उम्मीदें हैं? क्यों ऐसे चांसेस हैं कि कोस्टल एरियाज में हमेशा कुछ ना कुछ गड़बड़ हो सकती है? मेजर रीजंस बिहाइंड दैट. First, the strategic location, right? First is the strategic location. All right. And guys, we can see here that strategic location means what? India is actually located. You can just, can you imagine the map here? Suppose this is the Gulf of Persia and this is the Oman coast, Bahrain coast. Then it is the Pakistan area. Then it is the India, right? It is India. Guys, we can see here that India is actually located quite nearby to the Gulf area, and Gulf area is the politically unstable area. So whatever happens in the Gulf area or whatever happens in the Eastern African regions, that actually creates the impact on India's coastal security. Why? We all should understand that Africa, the Eastern Africa is the area where maximum number of the sea pirates are there. Sea pirates are there. What are the sea pirates? Samudri Daku. And which country is the most infamous for that? It is Ethiopia. Ethiopia. So guys, the countries like Chad, Ethiopia, etc., Sudan, etc., they possess, possess a great threat to the various oceanic routes, and therefore India is not in a position to ignore the threats caused by them. Got it? Now, these countries also indulge into the smuggling of the drugs and the trafficking of the human beings, particularly the girls. So that is in fact one of the biggest threats that we are having because of our location. Okay. Then difficult topography is a big reason. Difficult topography makes India vulnerable to the numerous threats in the coastal area. So guys, what is meant by difficult topography? Can we do something about that? No, we cannot do something about that. So that is why we need to take care of ourselves. We need to buff up our coastal security systems, right? So different structures like creek. I think all of you must have heard about the Sir Creek issue. Sir Creek means that creeks in the area between India and Pakistan. Then backwaters, rivulets, estuaries, right? Mud flats, hills, different things are there. And Indian topography in the coastal area is a very complicated one. Even though our coastal line that is right more than 7,500 kilometers. However, if we count up the islands, etc., and we count up the estuaries and the difficult terrains in that, the line length may not increase. The line of the coastal area may not increase, but the complications definitely increase into that. Okay. So therefore, these are actually poorly guarded areas and make it very difficult for the security agencies. Now, maritime traffic. So Indian Ocean region, the area starting from the Gulf, or you can say not just Gulf, but starting from the Suez Canal, right? Suez Canal and Gulf up to the Strait of Malacca, This route is, guys, one of the busiest route in our world. In fact, simply the busiest route. Why so? In fact, because more than half of the trade in the mineral oil or in the petroleum that takes place through the Indian Ocean, and India being the biggest power in the Indian Ocean region, naturally faces a turbulence in that area, naturally faces a threat in that area. So that is why Indian coastal security is always vulnerable to the quick challenges, right? Big challenges, in fact. Disputed maritime boundary. So guys, we always have witnessed some or the other disputes with our neighbors because of our boundary disputes. So maritime boundary is also not an exception. Let me tell you an example that in 2014, right, 2014, the International Maritime Appellate Tribunal that provided a verdict in the dispute, in the maritime dispute between India and Bangladesh. India and Bangladesh. And if you see the map of that, right? So if you see the map of that, you can understand very clearly that this is how something, the Bangladesh area is there, right? And something like this, we have the, something like this, we have the area of West Bengal also, isn't it? You know what, guys, that the area of dispute between Bangladesh and India, that was given in the favor, the verdict of that was given in the favor of Bangladesh, and Bangladesh, it gained the oceanic area of 9,60,000 square kilometer. Such a huge area went to Bangladesh in 2014, and nobody even hissed a little word. Why? Because it was related to the maritime boundary. No? Had this been in the territorial area, we would have created the humongous reaction on that. But this happened in the maritime, and I can guarantee that hardly few of you might be aware of this, or even you also might not be aware of this. Okay, so this is the story of the negligence that we are having about our maritime boundary. Straying of fishermen beyond the international maritime boundary line. So guys, very often it happens that repeatedly we come across the news that Sri Lanka has captured our fishermen, Myanmar, Bangladesh, Pakistan. Why? Because we are often unaware about the straying fishermen who go beyond the international maritime boundary line. So that is also a big security concern, because of which we need to be aware. And what is the reason of so much negligence? Guys, here are some states. Here are some stats about the vulnerable coastline, and this is the report taken from the Union Home Ministry. Guys, just have a look. The state with the coastline and the number of police stations. Gujarat is having the longest coastline in our country, and it is having one of the least numbers of the marine police stations. All right. Karnataka, on the other hand, it's quite good ratio, 320 kilometers only, but police stations are 62. Maharashtra has 720, but only 44. Tamil Nadu, even worse. Odisha and Kerala are also not very good in a position, right? So we can say that actually we are lacking in the not just the vigilance, but also in the defense sector, if we want to defend our coastlines. Because you can see the numbers: sanctioned strength 1100, actual strength 900. Okay, marine task commandos 600, and interceptor boats are just 30. So what can we say? That currently we are in a very weak position if we are about to defend our coastlines from the regular infiltrations, right? So India's coastal security and its challenges that we have already seen. Now let us observe that what is our level of preparedness. हम कितने तैयार हैं उन challenges को face करने के लिए. So let us have a look on that. All right, guys. So how India's coastal security architecture has evolved over the years. Dear students, इनमें से हर एक लाइन से क्वेश्चन बनने की उम्मीद रहती है. आपको मैं बता दूं that suppose the question will be like, consider the following statements about the custom marine organization, or consider the following statements about the Indian Coast Guard, or consider following statements about the Indian Maritime security, and they will simply give you two statements which will be based on the what is the range of the operation. For example, they will say that Indian Coast Guard operates up to 200 nautical miles and beyond 12 nautical miles. So what will you say? Yes, it is correct. But at the same time, if they say that the marine police that operates up to 10 kilometers from coastal area, from the shore area, so that will become wrong, because the marine police operates up to the territorial waters, and they are territorial waters, that is up to 12 nautical mile. Guys, 12 nautical miles. We have studied all these things in this lecture itself. Okay. So similarly, the questions can be asked from these organizations as well. So please listen it very carefully. Let us start the first preparedness of India against the coastal security challenges. So guys, first of all, in 1974, we had Customs Marine Organization called CMO. So there was one Nag Chaudhary committee, right? Nag Chaudhary committee that recommended the creation of the Custom Marine Organization, and it was mainly to target anti-smuggling operations, right? Mainly to conduct anti-smuggling operations. All right. However, this was temporary in nature, right? Temporary in nature, and therefore no significant improvement was observed. And guys, if you remember the story of Haji Mastan, that once upon a time in Mumbai, I think that movie you might have seen, right? So they used to do, he and his smugglers used to do a lot of overseas smuggling with the help of the small oceanic vessels. And guys, this marine organization was actually, right, it was actually related to that this similar type of smuggling operations. Okay, so that is one thing. However, in 1977, when the government was changed, that means at the central government, Indira Gandhi government was gone and Janata Party government came, then it enacted the Indian Coast Guard Act 1978. All right, 1978. This became the fourth armed force of India. Now, this is a line that can be asked in the examination. 3 armed forces we already know, right? That is the Indian Army, Indian Air Force, and Indian Navy. Then after that, the 4th armed force, that was the Indian Coast Guard. And guys, what was the duty of the Coast Guard? Thwarting or protecting the, attacking against the smuggling activities, safeguarding and protection of the artificial islands made for the trade purpose or something, offshore terminal protection, installation and offshore terminal protection, installation and other devices, their protection, protecting and assisting the fishermen who are in the trouble, or suppose if they are in the any international dispute, so to guard them, that is the responsibility of Indian Coast Guard. Okay, protecting the marine environment as well as the marine pollution protection. But can you tell me, this is a small question for all of you, suppose if the Indian fishermen, they are in the dispute and their dispute ranges beyond 200 nautical miles, do you think that Indian Coast Guard will act on it? No. It will be under the jurisdiction of the Indian Navy. Because beyond 200 nautical miles, right? Beyond 200 nautical miles, it is Indian Navy. Okay. Now, further in 2005, the coastal security scheme that was brought, and this provided the limitation ranges of the different security forces in the Indian coastal security. For example, it said that up to 12 nautical miles, up to 200 nautical miles and beyond. So up to 12 it was Marine Police, it was the Indian Coast Guard, and it was the Indian Navy. Okay. So guys, the coastal security scheme that was brought in 2005, it was implemented by the Department of Border Management under the Ministry of Home Affairs. And what was the purpose? To increase the patrolling, right? Patrolling and surveillance of the coastal areas. So that means you can imagine, you can suppose that some or the other informations were definitely with the Indian intelligence that there is an increase in the infiltration efforts by the cross-border terrorists. Therefore, the Marine Police was required to work with the Indian Coast Guard, okay, like hub and spoke. What is the hub and spoke? Like we see in the bicycle, na? This is the hub and this is the spoke. Okay, in the bicycle, in the wheel of the bicycle, hub and spoke is there. These are the spokes and these are the hubs. That means the Coast Guard will be guarding around the Marine Police. So Coast Guard will be hub and Marine Police will be the spoke, like that. So that there is no lack of or no drawback, no shortcoming in any type of defense. But unfortunately, we could not prevent the 2611. We could not prevent that. It shows our greatest failure in the coastal security system. So therefore, India decided to tackle the coastal security challenges by National Maritime Domain Awareness Project. And this was an integrated intelligence grid to detect and track the threats emanating from the sea in the real time. Quick response, quickly, without any further augmentation. So it has been strengthened by the establishment of the NC3I. NC3I. What is NC3I? We will see that. NC3I network and IMAC network. And these generate a common operational picture of activities through the institutionalized mechanism. What is that, guys? The NC3I, National Command Control Communication Intelligence Network. National Command Control Communication Intelligence Network. It is having the headquarters in Gurgaon, right? Gurgaon, and consists of the interlinked 20 Navy and 31 Coast Guard stations with the joint operation centers and headquarters. Okay. So guys, it is actually, it is having the data analysis centers from the radar, space, terrestrial centers, and with the vital points. Apart from that, the World Ship Registry, and it can track all the ships, not just all the ships of not just the Indian Ocean or the Indian coastal area, but also the ships which are there in the South China Sea up to that much distance. Okay. So guys, this is about the National Command Control Communication Intelligence Network, NC3I network. If we talk about the IMAC, what is IMAC? IMAC, that is Information Management and Analysis Center, right? So guys, you can see this and you will understand it very clearly. This is the operation of the IMAC. You can see this, the whole operability up to the complete Indian Ocean that comes by IMAC, and this will be managed, right? This will be regulated, commanded by the NC3I located at Gurgaon, which is operating with the help of the 31 stations of the Coast Guard and 20 stations of the Indian Navy. All right. Also in 2017, the Maritime Theatre Command that was proposed. What is that? Maritime Theatre Command. To integrate the assets of Indian Navy, Army, Air Force and Coast Guard to achieve the goals detailed out in the Joint Forces Doctrine 2017. All right. So in the 2019, the proposal of Maritime Theatre Command was accepted, and what will be the benefit of that? It will enable the security forces to form a net-centric warfare model, so that what happens, that we can get an advantage over the opponent by using a flexible force structure based upon the variable geographic domains. Okay, different geographic domains. What is that meaning in simple words? It is like to act in an integrated manner, so that other opponent is thinking that only Navy will react, but we will react in an integrated way, and that will give us a natural advantage. All right. So other preparedness. So guys, the other efforts of our preparedness, that is reflected through interagency maritime exercises. So India has started the exercises between exercises for the interagency maritime security forces, like Indian Coast Guard, Marine Police, Indian Navy, like also sometimes border security forces, sometimes the patrolling police in the local coastal areas, right? The civilian police that we are having. Also sometimes the local fishermen, even they are involved. Okay, because they are all the stakeholders of our security, and the common people can play a very important role to defend our coastal areas. Okay, so that is why guys, two major events are being organized. One is called Sagar Kavach. Okay, that is organized that is organized by the Indian Navy and Indian Coast Guard, along with the other stakeholders in the coastal security. There is a Sea Vigil. It is the biennial pan-India coastal defense exercise organized by our Navy. Biennial means what? That once in 2 years, 2 साल में एक बार सी विजिल होता है, और सागर कवच जो है वो एनुअली कंडक्ट किया जाता था, राइट? लेकिन 2020 में कंडक्ट किया गया, उसके बाद से अभी तक कंडक्ट नहीं हुआ है, राइट? In 2020 also it was conducted in October 2020, right? October 2020. So you can get this also in examination. Sagar Kavach, October 2020. There is another exercise called theater level readiness operational exercise. Theater level readiness operational exercise. TROPEX, which has started from 2005 and is conducted every year except 2016 and 2018, right? However, in 2020, this was not conducted. So 3 passes have been there, like 2016, 2018 and 2020. TROPEX was not conducted by the Indian Navy. However, otherwise it is conducted every year since 2005. Who is the agency? Which is the agency that conducts it? Indian Navy. Why? To test the professional skills of operators and the doctrinal acumen of the commanders of the Indian Navy. basically to test that how much readiness is there. All right. Now, so guys, we are prepared to a great extent. That is okay. That's a very good thing to listen. But there are some loopholes in our existing structures. कुछ कमियां हैं हमारे डिफेंस सिस्टम में, कोस्टल डिफेंस सिस्टम में, राइट? एग्जैक्टली. सो केया इज सेइंग दैट लोगो को एक बार और रिपीट कर दीजिए प्लीज. ओके ओके केया. सो लोगो दैट वाज राइट, दैट वाज रिलेटेड टू द information management and analytics center. So you can see that all the informations etc., that covering of all the details and all that will be the work of IMAC and National Command Control Communication and Intelligence Center, right? That NC3I, that will be simply working on this information and commanding the other stations, control stations. All right. So students, we are going to see the loopholes in our existing structures. Loopholes. What are the loopholes? Lackluster approach of the state government for coastal infrastructure. No matter how much serious is the matter, still state governments are not quite upfront to provide the great coastal infrastructure. That is a severe drawback that we are seeing in our country. Multiplicity of the agencies resulting in the poor coordination. Sometimes, in fact, in the time of 2008 also, 26/11, 26/11, this happened. The Coast Guard was blaming the Indian Navy, Marine Police was blaming the Coast Guard, the Terrestrial Police was blaming the Marine Police, so everybody was blaming each other. This happens when there are multiple agencies, right? Then disproportionate focus on the terrorism, resulting in the less emphasis on non-traditional threats. What is the meaning of that? Guys, every time whenever we talk about terrorism, we think that cross-border terrorism is the only terrorism. We forget that economic terrorism, coastal terrorism, the terrorism through the kidnapping or abduction of the ships of the Indian traders, all these type of the terrorism attacks can also be possible, but we had grossly ignored those things, right? Lack of professionalism and capacity constraints in the marine police forces. I understand that it is very easy to call out the police forces for the lack of capacity by sitting in the cozy chair here. But this is the reality, that if there are 20 people in the police who want to work to the full capacity, to the maximum professionalism, but there are still majority of the police forces, and Marine Police is not an exception. I'm talking about every police forces, that 80% of the people, they are looking for some sort of compromise with their responsibilities and with their professionalism. That is a big challenge for our existing structures of security. Obviously, we have some technological backwardness, even though we have tried well to increase our technical maneuverability, but still backwardness cannot be ignored. Port security remains neglected in most of the minor ports. Guys, like small railway stations, we can see that the small railway stations are the hotspot of the criminal activities in their backyard. Similar thing goes for the small seaports in our country. Big ports are having all the arrangements, but smaller ports, local ports, they are simply free for the such security loopholes. All right. So we have talked about the problem. Now let us see the solution. What is the solution? How to overcome the existing challenges? जो प्रमुख चुनौतियां हैं आज के समय की, उनसे पार कैसे पाएं? So guys, first of all, enacting the proposed coastal security bill that will facilitate the creation of the National Marine Agency. okay, Maritime Agency. So that will be a coordinative body and a unique, that singular body that will manage all the coastal security related aspects. That will bring whole system under an integrated command, and therefore better efficiency will be possible. Strengthening the surveillance system. Now guys, this is actually a very generic solution. We always say that strengthening, but how to strengthen? Obviously this will help it, right? This will help it. And strengthening the surveillance is also possible by strengthening the Indian Coast Guard and creation of the Central Marine Police Force. Like guys, for the Naxalism, for the Naxalism we have the Central Reserve Police Force. For the industrial security we have Central Industrial Security Force. Similarly, the government should establish Central Marine Police Force or CMPF. Currently, the marine police forces are not operating under the central government, right? Then effective involvement of the coastal community such as fishermen. I already told to you that involvement of the local community makes the whole system very flexible and very effective, so that it is also a very sustainable solution. Okay, very sustainable method to overcome the challenges. Then promulgate the National Commercial Maritime Security Policy for the efficient, coordinated and effective action. So guys, there should be a commercial maritime security policy as well that will provide the integrated coverage of security to the commercial vessels as well, which very often create the bigger troubles than the conventional challenges. Got it? And last but not the least, reinforcing the coastal regulation zones regulations, CRZ regulations. So dear students, we all know that the coastal regulation zones, actually these are meant for the following, but nobody, in fact no stakeholder follows the CRZs very efficiently. So we must enforce it to the best possible level. All right. So I hope that it was a learning experience for all of you. All right. And guys, make sure that if you have watched this, then make the notes out of it. Okay, take the brief notes out of it. Also share this session on YouTube with all of your friends in your friend circle, so that all of them can take the benefit of this lecture. This type of topic is very essential for the dynamic nature of UPSC question paper, and therefore despite being a very you can say off the beat, right, very offbeat topic, it's a very offbeat topic but very significant topic guys. तो हमें ये नहीं सोचना है कि कौन सा टॉपिक पढ़ने में मजा आ रहा है, हमें ये सोचना है कि कौन सा टॉपिक पढ़ के हमारे मार्क्स आ जाते हैं, राइट? तो गाइज keep your approach very simple, that is you have to cross the prelims barrier. तो बहुत ही सिंपल, सरल और स्पष्ट तरीके से आपके लिए ये लेक्चर अवेलेबल था. Guys, you can, if you want to join other courses, so you can join us with the Gradeup Super subscription, and it's a very simple method through which you can join. You can select your plan, apply the coupon code and make the payment to join us. Also, if you are joining and subscribing to the Gradeup Super, you will get access to all the running courses and upcoming courses, structured study plan, expert faculty members, best study material, and PDF quizzes, etc. In case of any doubts, you can speak to our counselors as well. And guys, these are your faculty members. And you can also join us on the Telegram group for the further assistance in every aspect like study materials, short notes, etc. And guys, don't forget to share the session. अपने दोस्तों के साथ खूब सारा शेयर करें, सभी को बताएं, जो प्रिपरेशन कर रहे हैं उनके लिए भी फायदेमंद है, जो नहीं कर रहे हैं उनके लिए भी फायदेमंद, right? And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel Gradeup IAS. Thank you so much guys, all the best, take care. and keep preparing well, because सही prep है तो life set. Thank you so much guys. Thanks a lot. Take care and bye bye.